Hi guys, this is GSMDome.com and I'm here with the unboxing of the Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge. So the Galaxy S25 series has been expanded with this brand new model, and it's an interesting thing here. They aim to make it slimmer than the entire S25 series. So much so that it has spawned several clones. I've seen at Mobile World Congress a Techno phone which was even slimmer. This one measures 5.8 millimeters in thickness. That's what it's going for. The Techno phone measures 5.75. Supposedly the iPhone 17 Air will also be a slim, and this handset actually appeared because of the threat, the looming threat of the iPhone 17 Air. So we have it here for an unboxing. Let's see what's in the box. It's, to be honest, pricier than expected at $849, but in some regions, including mine, Eastern Europe, you're getting a present with it, a Samsung Galaxy Watch Ultra, which is actually not bad. It's a flagship watch with a ton of functionality and good looks. I was actually pleasantly surprised by this gift. Now, in the box, don't expect much because we don't get a charger. We haven't been for years. We get a quick start guide though. It's an interesting approach, this one. The box is actually split in two, and here we have the other extras. Now, the phone itself has been unveiled several months ago, and we saw it as a demo at Mobile World Congress in March. Here we have the metal key used to access the slots, and here, I hope I won't break anything. It's rather fragile packaging. Here we have another piece of documentation, manual and information. Useful stuff to learn about. And of course, European Union forces Samsung to put this, the energy efficiency, estimated battery life, resilience to drops, ease of repair, battery cycles, and IP68 certification, plus an USB-C to C cable. Okay, so that's about it. Basically, cable, documents, and key. Other phone makers provide you with a case or provide you with, I don't know, a charger or headphones even. So this is the handset that everybody's talking about, perhaps also because it has a titanium frame, which you don't see every day on a non-ultra phone. Now, as I said before, 5.8 millimeters in thickness compared to the Ultra's 8.2 millimeters in thickness. It's quite slim. The small Galaxy S25 is about 7.2 millimeters in thickness. It weighs a decent 163 grams. It's very angular, flat back, flat frame, and flat facade, which honestly was to be expected. I think that even though officially on paper we're getting here very narrow bezels, like a 92% screen to body ratio, in real life they feel just slightly thicker. Now, if you want to talk about the materials that we're getting here, they're actually glass at the front, titanium frame, and glass at the back. The front has an interesting protection. I'm talking about Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2, which is supposed to be more resilient to scratches and drops. At the back side, Gorilla Glass Victus 2. It's got a matte approach that actually looks more like metal than glass. Now, I think that's enough about the design. Of course, IP68 certification, dust and waterproofing. You can sync it up to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. And I would say the grip is fine on account of it being so narrow and flat frame. There are three color versions: icy blue, silver, and black. This one is actually quite cute, to be honest. Okay, so screen-wise, it's a 6.7-inch AMOLED screen with LTPO, 120 Hz refresh rate, and of course HDR support, and 3120 over 1440 pixels. The interesting bit about the phone here is the fact that it has a powerful CPU. It doesn't have an Exynos or anything like that. It has a Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy, clocked higher like the S25 Ultra, octa-core, 3 nanometer, and it comes also with 12 gigs of RAM. There's no 8 GB RAM version here, and nowadays if you want AI, there's probably not going to be an 8 GB RAM version. So 12 GB LPDDR5X, 256 GB of storage. There's also a version with 512. As usual, Samsung is selling the 512 one cheaper or at the same price with the 256 one as a promo for the launch of the phone. There's no micro SD, there's no audio jack, you can't even fit one here, and the battery here is actually at the limit of it being relevant. 3900 mAh. It feels like the battery you would get on a foldable phone. It's just 100 mAh smaller than the S25, the small one version. The charging is a bit modest. You're getting 25 watt via wire, 15 watts wireless. So yeah, there's that. We do have stereo speakers with an interesting setup. This is the bottom one. This is actually the top one with these holes here. It doesn't exactly make use of the earpiece. It also helps itself with those two at the top side, unless they're microphone holes, and I may be mistaken, but from my experience, they should be part of the speaker experience. Now, in the screen, you're going to find the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, which Samsung has been using for years now. And the sensors include accelerometer, proximity, gyroscope, compass, barometer. And on the connectivity front, you're getting a bunch of things. So on the connectivity side of things, you're getting Wi-Fi 7, you're getting ultra wideband, you're getting 5G, Bluetooth 5.4, GPS, NFC, USB-C 3.2 at the bottom side. And finally, we have reached the cameras. In the screen here, in a pretty small punch hole on the top side, there's a 12 megapixel camera with autofocus, dual pixel PDAF, 4K 60, f2.2 aperture, while at the back side we meet a familiar face. Now, the main camera we have here, the 200 megapixel camera that we're getting here, is the same sensor as the one of the Galaxy S25 Ultra. However, with a different lens, and the whole camera mechanism is 18% smaller to fit the device. f1.7 aperture, optical image stabilization, multi-directional PDAF, and the secondary camera is a 12 megapixel ultra wide shooter with autofocus for the macro needs, f2.2 aperture. We have an LED flash here and 8K capture up to 8K. Now, the features included here are pretty much the same as we've seen on most Samsung phones over the past years. So we got your night mode, you got your hyperlapse mode, we got your pro video mode, we got your slow motion, we got your single take, pro, panorama, dual rec, expert raw, which has been separated as a separate app, food mode, and portrait video for the front and the back camera. As I said before, video can be shot in HDR, and you can also shoot it up to 8K 30 or Full HD 40. And if you want a super steady mode, it's also available here. Stabilizes the image better, but drops the resolution to 2K. This is the photo, and believe it or not, it has extra levels of zoom, even though we don't have a telephoto camera. So we can go up to 4x or 10x, and you can shoot up to 50 or 200 megapixel shots. We also have portrait mode with various studio options and filters for blur, and that's that. On the software side of things, we have good news. As per usual, we may not be having One UI 8.0 here, but we do have One UI 7.0 applied on top of Android 15 with 7 years of Android updates. Of course, Gemini Live is part of the package. You can chat with it, you can chat over it, interrupt it, you can show it your camera or your screen, and of course there's also circle to search. So if I were in a browser here, or I was browsing or doing anything like it, you could press here and circle this and find out more about the image. So yeah, that's circle to search. You can also find songs with it, recognize songs with it. You can also translate what's on the screen. And of course, we have all the famous AI goodies here. So if you swipe from the side, we have AI Select and also Now Brief. AI Select will basically read what's on the screen. You can extract text. We can actually choose something here and extract from it, do generative edit, paste it in a clipboard, download it, translate it, and even more. Of course, you also have your Now Brief and Now Bar, basically a summary of what's going on. It can do weather alerts, it can do news, it can do screen time reports, Samsung health things from your calendar. It can also be shown on your lock screen if you want to. You can also have a widget of it. That's the Now Bar and the Now Brief. Okay, you also have Drawing Assist, which basically allows you to get creative. You can either scribble something here or write the text. And you can choose the style to do it in. Of course, you can also do a portrait studio for yourself and stylize yourself. Interesting, I said cat with a hat and generated a lady. Well, that's pretty odd, but at least you can scribble stuff up and draw a person, and it tries to maybe generate it in an anthropomorphic fashion. Now, aside from that, you can obviously also get all the benefits and the famous features of AI for your content. So if I'm in a video and I do this, I can keep it pressed here for a slow motion experience. Aside from that, I can also press the AI button here and I can able to suppress noises, voice or music with the AI noise feature. And of course, since we're in the gallery here, you can also go to your pictures and select one which has maybe people or obstacles and cut them out of the picture. Maybe this one here. You can do generative edit, you can remove objects and persons, you can also have the suggestions here. It found people, now it's ready to remove them. Now, aside from that, you're also going to be using this application here. If I record my voice, I can turn it into text, translate it, and have multiple speakers record it here. And of course, there's the note-taking application. So if you have this text here, you can obviously use AI for auto formatting, summarize, spelling and grammar, translate and transcribe. And if I were to trigger it from the keyboard, you can mess around with the spelling, grammar, writing style and composer, all the famous AI features you have come to know and love from the previous Galaxy S's. In the web browser, you got your AI here with summarize, translate and read highlights aloud. And I think that's pretty much it. Of course, there are more features which you're going to discover. We have the interpreter here. One talks on one half of the screen, the other one talks on the other half. We also have a conversation mode, and I would say that's about it. Now, I have to admit, the cooling may not be the best because the phone is so slim. I actually gamed on it, and it's, I would say, decent. It does get hot, but it's within my expectations of a hot phone. And we also have sketch to image, by the way. You can actually generate objects in images, and you can turn your selfies into a artwork with Portrait Studio, a cartoon and things like that. At the end of the day, it's a slim phone for stylish people. I feel it's a bit of a feminine phone. I'm actually curious about the market size they did and how many of the responders who want slimmer phones are girls and how many are boys. If you ask me, I would prefer a thicker phone with a bigger battery, not necessarily a slimmer phone. And by the way, battery life is not half bad, as you're going to discover in the review. That's it from gsmdome.com. Hope you enjoyed this unboxing. Goodbye.